Stephen A.
Not much, because it involves the Washington Wizards, so who cares?
Jiminy Christmas. Bro, why do you...
He's not wrong.
For the love of Jesus.
It's just the truth. I mean, the fact of the matter is ain't nobody thinking about the Washington Wizards right now. Trae Young can play. He's a four-time All-Star. He's a prolific scorer. He's very talented offensively. Defensively, he was a liability for the Atlanta Hawks. The new star there is Jalen Johnson and the crew. They got a brother special. Atlanta's on the come-up. C.J. McCollum is an experienced veteran who can shoot. That's a plus for them. Plus, he has an expiring contract. You're saving Atlanta over $30 million in the end, possibly because Trae Young had a $49 million player option in Washington.
All right. I just heard Stephen A. Smith's take on the Trae Young trade, and respectfully, I have to push back on almost every single point. His dismissal of this move as who cares, because it involves the Washington Wizards, misses the entire fascinating story of what's really happening here. This isn't about the Wizards. It's about the Atlanta Hawks making one of the most consequential and, frankly, smartest franchise resets we've seen in years. Let's break down why Stephen A. got this so wrong. First, he frames this as the Hawks getting rid of a liability. A liability? Trae Young is a 25-11 four-time All-Star offensive engine who has carried a franchise to the conference finals. You don't trade a liability for C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert. You trade a superstar when you've reached an undeniable conclusion. The core you built around that superstar has a ceiling, and it's not a championship ceiling. Stephen A. mentions the defensive issues, and yes, that's real. But the Hawks' problem wasn't just Trae's defense. It was that the roster construction to hide his weaknesses had failed. They spent years trying to find the perfect defensive personnel to cover for him, and it left them with a bloated, expensive, and deeply flawed team stuck in the middle of the Eastern Conference. This trade isn't an admission of Trae's failure. It's an admission of the front office's failure to build a contender around him. And the smartest thing a franchise can do is admit a mistake and pivot before you're stuck in mediocrity for a decade. Now let's talk about what the Hawks actually got. Stephen A. brushes past it. C.J. McCollum is an experienced veteran who can shoot. That's selling it incredibly short. They got $46 million in immediate cap relief and a path to getting off nearly $30 million more if McCollum's deal isn't extended. But more importantly, they got complete and total roster flexibility. They are now built around Jalen Johnson, a burgeoning two-way star on a fantastic contract, and a treasure chest of assets. They have all their future picks and now the financial power to be a major player, whether that's for a star like Anthony Davis this summer or in future free agency. This is the critical point Stephen A. misses. The Hawks didn't just trade a player, they traded an era. They traded the Trae Young and Who era for a blank canvas. They've escaped the purgatory of being a perennial play-in team with a massive payroll and no clear path upward. In today's NBA, that is a win. The worst place to be is in the middle. The Hawks just catapulted themselves out of the middle and into a position of strategic power. And let's not undersell what this means for Trae. Going to Washington isn't a death sentence. It's an opportunity to be the unquestioned alpha on a young team with cap space to build something new. He gets to rewrite his narrative without the weight of past failures in Atlanta. For a competitor with a chip on his shoulder, that's fuel. So, Stephen A. asks, who cares? I'll tell you who should care. Every fan of smart team building. Every executive trying to escape a bad contract situation. The Hawks just executed a textbook punt and reset move. They prioritize long-term flexibility and a new identity over clinging to the fading hope of an old core. In 5 years, we might look back at this as the day the Hawks stopped being pretenders and started building something real. That's not a who cares moment. That's a masterclass in ruthless, necessary rebuilding. But what do you think? Was Stephen A. right to dismiss this trade, or did the Hawks make a brilliant forward-thinking move? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this deep dive into the real strategy behind NBA moves, make sure to subscribe for more.